Alrighty. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. What did you say?
Hit it, Rachel.
Thank you, Raquel, but close. So, welcome to SWUG X Tech Alley. This is my first Las Vegas SWUG meeting that I'm hosting. I'm really excited.
What does SWUG stand for?
Yeah, SWUG stands for SolidWorks User Group. I'll definitely get into that. I should have put it up here for sure. So, yeah, I'll get into that. First, I'll preview what we're going to talk about. It's a welcome, it's group questions. I didn't have any idea who would be in the audience. I'll introduce myself. I'll introduce the global SolidWorks user group mission. I'll introduce my personal Las Vegas SWUG mission. I will talk about future meeting structure, and we might skip over my top 3 SolidWorks tips if you're not an active member or active user, and then we'll break out into some structured networking. So I actually talked to you all already. So you were a previous SolidWorks user. Have you used SolidWorks yourself?
Not myself, but I had
CAD?
somebody to do stuff for me.
Yeah. Or CAD software, have you used it yourself?
I use a lot of CAD software. I looked at SolidWorks files, or just another one of CAD files in the world of manufacturing.
Okay. So some of these questions may not apply, but I'm so happy that you guys showed up specifically, because with Tech Alley, I wanted to target people like yourselves that were interested in either more CAD software or making things on your free time. And just for me, I have a group mission for having a really nice maker space. So for the existing 30 members that I'm aware of the SWUG memberships, they don't know who I am. So I put out this collage of myself, the type of person I am. I learn by pictures, I learn by images. Up here you can see, I was gonna have you guess what I do. I think it's okay. Yeah, this is my grandfather back in the day. He actually would come to Vegas pretty frequently, and I think he won, I don't know, $30K back in the day, and he built a whole appliance industry in Chicago. This was like my professional life, and this is my fun life. Here, I'll give you guys one last second to look at some of these pictures. Okay. So I like to introduce myself as a creative human. That, of course, mechanical engineering, but more to that, I love drawing, I love art, I love taking pictures, I love taking film and editing it. Like, one of my favorite things is a photography event for like a wedding. I'm a staff mechanical engineer. I work at Aristocrat Technologies, that's a slot machine company, in the new product development. So slot machines, real quick, are parts and assembly that are typically made from sheet metal, aluminum casting, and plastic injection molds. The other design elements that we, collaborate all of those things is like intricate lighting. We want the player or the potential player to be attracted by the lighting and come sit down at our machine. And I think of it as like a computer tower. We have a lot of off-the-shelf peripherals that we have to fit in this thing, make it work, and make it really accessible for the techs that go and service it. So a lot of the times, you have to open up the button deck to access the printer because there's a paper jam. Or I think at least twice a shift, people are opening up a smaller door so that you access the money, and you can switch out the cam full of money and put in the empty one. So those are some of the cool things I find about slot machines. Lastly, I'm designing something that you cannot break into with something as simple as a screwdriver or a wire hanger. Like, we literally think about, hey, if someone were to stick a wire hanger in here, can they get into the machine? Can they mess it up? So, and I like that it's pretty. I have 10 years experience in using the SolidWorks software. I have attended the global SolidWorks conference called 30X World 4 times. I have my certification. It's called a CSWP, so it's Certified SolidWorks Professional. I'm working towards my CSWE, which stands for Expert. As you saw in the last picture, I am a board game collector. I am an avid hiker. I'm an avid traveler. I'm a chronic group selfie taker, as you can tell. And I am not a public speaker, and I don't plan to be. So this event is not a platform for me. It's an event to platform other people. So if you're interested in speaking, more on that later. So global SWUG mission. SWUG stands for SolidWorks User Group. There are over 250 groups across the globe. On the website, this is just Central USA, and you can see how many different groups there are, and every single tab has almost as many groups there. This is to build and uplift the community of local SolidWorks users, designers, makers, and engineers. We do this because we love connecting people who love to bring ideas to life, sharing knowledge, support each in their growth, no matter their expert level. So I fine-tuned this presentation to talk about, once again, to introduce myself to the active 30 members. So I wanted to talk about why I chose to step up. It was super thriving before COVID, and since COVID, they have not had, except for one meeting earlier this year. So I actually got my job with Aristocrat from the Nashville SWUG group. It was really cool. I was active 2 years, and then as I was graduating, the chair was like, hey, are there any fresh graduates who are looking for a job? And I was like, yeah, me. So I really like that that's how I got my beginnings, and that's why I'm trying to give back and spend my time doing this, because I want those connections to happen moreover. And I think you specifically asked me, are students invited? Yes, absolutely yes. And I encourage it, and I want to see students here. Makers community, I think you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I am not aware of a thriving maker space in Vegas. If you're aware, please let me know. I really think it's important that we all have access to those tools, whether it's, and I'm gonna go into this. So in February, I was at 30X World. I met this person, his name was Dan. He happened to be the Boston SWUG leader. So Dan says, hey, I host a festival every June on the SolidWorks headquarters. If you're interested, you can come on and join. I said,
SolidWorks headquarters?
In Boston.
Boston?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was like, maybe I should go. And I went. While I was there, I got the tour of the headquarters of the Dassault Systems, which is the owner of SolidWorks. But on my free time there, I went to this maker space. It's called Artisans Asylum in Boston. If you're ever there, go to it immediately. It is 2 warehouses full of all of the equipment you can dream of. Wood shop, metal shop, plasma cutters, t-shirt shop, CAD lab, 3D printer lab, laser cutter lab. I already said wood shop, jewelry making lab. It was just so beautiful. And then the community members of Boston could actually rent spaces in that warehouse and have that hands-on access. And every day they had 4 different classes. So if I had lived there long term, they had a 3-part class on how to TIG weld. I want to know how to TIG weld, and I just love that they had that opportunity. So when I got back to Vegas, I was like, I gotta find the maker spaces, and I have not found one that seems active. And I've emailed at least 3, and either they never responded or they said, hey, we're not open right now since COVID. So I'm hoping to, revitalize that community long term. And then, yeah.
Are you thinking of starting a TIG welders user group?
Not specifically, but I'm hoping that TIG welders come to the group and want to share their knowledge and maybe host their own class. So if you know any.
You want to be a welder?
Huh?
Want to be a welder?
I would love to know how to weld. I think that would improve my designs, because I'm putting.
My best friend is a good welder.
And the other thing that I know, my manager is a sheet metal enthusiast. He's currently a director, but he started on the sheet metal machines. He's got sheet metal literally in his eye because he's been working in it since he was 19. That is an art form. What I'm learning in textbooks versus what he's learned on hands-on, not completely different things, but he's like, yeah, ignore this. This is what you want to do. And I don't want that knowledge to die with him. Like I'm not even going to say it. I'm not going to finish that sentence. But it's such an art form, manufacturing, I would say. And I feel like you said you're in manufacturing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm trying to crawl, I'm going to the things in Las Vegas and I want to get the community together. If it is centered around SolidWorks, that's beautiful because it's just a tool to get us to all work and be more.
Are you used to taking SolidWorks design and turning it into a 3D model?
Say it again?
Are you used to taking a 3D, a CAD drawing from SolidWorks and turning it into a 3D model?
Yeah.
You know how to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's how I make the slot machines.
I want to do SolidWorks and I want to learn how to do the 3D model.
Yeah.
I have a 3D printer. I just did.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And whether you learn from me or you learn from the other members in the group, that's what I want. Like, I'm not the end all be all for.
I have a bunch of files here from my guy that used to do 3D drawing company.
Yeah.
The PDF of SolidWorks drawings here.
Yeah.
He used to do drawing for me every day, right?
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure there's plenty of people looking for work. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people who are interested in contracting. So that's why I'm like, once again, I don't care. Like, I'm not pushing to have more members. It's just if you're interested.
For somebody who's like a SolidWorks person that can do 3D models, 3D printed. That's my goal.
Yeah.
I would be the biggest 3D guy in Las Vegas.
Oh.
So what's the average cost of SolidWorks today?
Ooh, that's such a great question. A license is thousands of dollars. I know that, and I'll double check if you want me to get back to you. But if you're not using it for commercial use, so if you're not going to sell your idea, which is not what would apply to you, if you're just wanting the software to make intricate things at your house and 3D print them, and that's where it ends.
I just want to learn how to use it.
Yeah, SolidWorks offers a maker's license, and it's only $50 a year.
Oh, really?
And it gives you two options. It gives you a downloadable version of SolidWorks.
A full version?
I'm fairly confident. Just look into maker's license.
They're really simple, right?
Yeah. Or it gives you an online browser version of the twin of SolidWorks, and it's called X-Design. So if you don't have a kick-ass, badass computer that can run SolidWorks, which I don't, I'm using the online browser version, and it's called X-Design. Once again, $50 a year.
SolidWorks yourself?
Not a personal copy. I have a professional copy through my company, not my company, but for the company I work for called Aristocrat.
Yeah.
What's your
Yeah.
name?
Yeah.
Tim?
Yeah.
Tim, do you have any experience using?
I'm a computer guy. I have a degree in computer science, right? I've been around computers and drafting my whole life. But I'm doing stuff now that I need help with, right?
Because there's a thing from Autodesk. They discontinued it, but it's still floating around. 123D design.
Yeah.
It's a free program, not very memory intense. And you can get a copy. It's basic 3D modeling. And it's very simple to learn. There are a lot of tutorials even on YouTube.
Right.
Autodesk 123 design.
123
And there's
design.
also a thing called FreeCAD,
3CAD.
which is an open source 3D CAD program, which is more complicated than 123D.
Yeah.
But once you learn 123D, it's easy to transition to FreeCAD. And I presume they have versions for Windows and Apple, as well as Linux.
Yeah.
And you might want to do first.
I just want to
Yeah.
use it.
There's lots of
I know
opportunities.
By hand, I took drafting classes all the time. I'm an old man, right?
123D from Autodesk, really simple and very easy to learn. And when you master that, you can step up to the more complicated.
All my stuff is easy. It's all sorts
Yes.
Circles or rectangles?
They give you primitives, they give you balls and cones and rectangles, and then you just put your dimensions in.
Yeah, I'm sure once I use it, I figure it out. I just have to use it. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think a lot of free options and how AI is getting integrated into this, like into everything. A lot is coming, but yeah, thanks for sharing that.
SolidWorks, you know, in the end of the day, if something's getting made, it's going to be converted to a step file.
Yeah, there's lots of, 100%. Well, so for the Las Vegas SolidWorks user group, for 2026, my goals is to have 4 meetings a year at least. 2 of them would be in person, 2 of them would be virtual. There are lots of bonus events that other user or SWUG groups put on, so I may partner with that, but my goal is also to have a leadership team for the longevity of SWUG, just so it's not on one person's back, kind of like how it was before, right? We all got busy after COVID. We all shifted life priorities. So if it's not just one person, yep, I was talking about if a person's priority shifts, the group doesn't fade away. I really feel as though you guys are interested in maybe not joining the events, but the people who are attending the events. So I suggest, let me back out. There we go. And then I'm going to go back into presentation mode. Beautiful. Love it. Okay. I was going to say, scan the QR code, hit join now, become a member. You'll get all of the emails for the future upcoming events. Or if you're interested in joining a leadership team, you can email me. Oh wait, no, this is to my LinkedIn. My bad. Oh, were you gonna? Yeah, this is, unfortunately, I thought, this is a LinkedIn. This QR code is to let me know if you're interested in being a leader or joining the leadership board. So the future events will be oriented kind of like this. So I'll have options. It will be very structured where it's lesson focused. There's a speaker talking the entire time, maybe structured networking like we'll see here shortly. It'll probably be something like a classroom setting, but I've attended many other structures, so half lesson, half networking, very casual. You do your own thing for the networking. I love an industry tour. I've toured like, 30 different industries. I love seeing the processes, the manufacturing processes. Specifically, my favorite was the Toyota in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. They had an exploded view of a full Tundra truck, like right in there. And I hopped on a trolley, and it was so beautiful. And from the start of that tour, they started driving, and we saw the Tundras get assembled from.
Use SolidWorks to make cars?
Yeah, definitely they do. And I think Toyota specifically does as well. So saw on the line, wheels getting put on, very basic, everything is in parts. By the end of that tour, the car itself was driving onto the lot. So that was a fun experience, and I hope to do something like that in Vegas. So if you're interested in hosting, touring the SWUG group, or if you have any interest yourself, like heads up, like, hey, let's go to the chocolate factory and tour the chocolate factory, then please let me know. And then I've attended some SWUG events where it was just completely networking. It was hosted at our brewery, kind of like what we did at lunch, and just a way to get the members talking to each other. So that's what's to be expected. Does anyone have any questions?
No.
Okay. I did expect at least one SolidWorks user to attend today. So you know what? This is for you. And I'll fly by this, but these are if I had to choose only 3 tips to share briefly, it was these. It was always use the S key. When it comes to, at least for SolidWorks, when it comes to your wrist They call it mouse miles. So in this video here, let's see if it'll play. It's not gonna play. Let me try one more time. Nope. Does anyone know what I mean when I say mouse miles? Can I drag this?
Like, my assumption is like you're trying to look at it from a certain view and just like constantly moving so that...
Constantly moving, right. So you see my mouse, if you can't see my mouse, to use this, I'm taking my mouse and I'm going over here, click, drag over here, draw my circle, come back over here, extrude my circle, go back. So it's like adding the miles that your mouse moves across your screen, and the S key, which is my tip, helps lower your mouse miles. So you mentioned Autodesk. I think Autodesk does a great job of hotkeys when you're in the computer and CADing, right? Hang on, let's see. Where'd my mouse go? I think SolidWorks could probably improve their hotkeys, but at this moment, the S key is the best option I've found. And go back over here. Hit here. So immediately hit S right here in the open. I hit S again. Instead of dragging all the way back here, that S key toolbar comes up and
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
can be more efficient. I know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and you can customize that toolbar as well. So I customize mine to have measure, and instead of going to my toolbar and finding evaluate and then looking on the toolbar and looking for measure, I just hit S, measure, boom. I'm able to select right there. So that's tip number 1. Let me see how to get that off. Okay. Tip number 2. So that's my beginner's tip. This is my second, I guess it's, intermediate tip. It's a way to open up large files. It's simple. It's called Large Design Review. A lot of people don't know about this tip because it's a little bit hidden. So you hit File, you hit Open, you select your assembly file. I blacked out a lot of information. But this right here, it's usually either set to resolved or lightweight, but people ignore Large Design Review. You slide it up. A slot machine probably has 7,000 parts and assemblies, and it can take 7 minutes at minimum to open on my computer. This opens that in 30 seconds. I have a link to show this. I think I'm going to skip that demo, but if anyone's interested in more information, please let me know. This is my third and final tip. This is something I'm trying to do for my company specifically. It's called macros. Macros are already integrated into SolidWorks. For example, you're asking about drawings, right? So if I had a SolidWorks drawing, if I wanted to make that a PDF, I'd go to File, Save As, I'd drop down, hit PDF. That's like 7 clicks, and that's just one drawing.
Make an STL file?
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. So a macro, we currently use a macro where if we have 100 SolidWorks drawing files, we need those to be converted into PDF. The macro will automate that process across the whole library. So if you have one folder of 100 drawings, you can run a macro, and it's like 3 clicks, and then it'll tell the computer, hey, convert all of the drawings in this folder into a PDF, and then it'll knock it out. I could go get my coffee, and then when I come back, I have a new folder space that has the drawings and the PDFs. So that's what a macro does, or that's a way a macro is used.
It's, you record the macro once, and then run it on the directory.
Yeah.
Photoshop is doing that decades ago.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Macros isn't new, but what I'm saying here is I am implementing, so I don't know how to code, I don't know how to program, and I only really use that one macro. This is, I use ChatGPT to make my own. So, once again, already using it, right? I said, hey, ChatGPT, This is what I have specifically. I want you to run a macro where by one click of the button, it will open a new drawing, put my 3 views and my isometric view on there, and my external reference dimensions. Just one click. So I asked ChatGPT to do that. It said, here's some of the questions, and then it spit out the code that I could copy and paste directly into SolidWorks, the macro tool. Make sense?
Yeah, but when you're divulging your data to ChatGPT, aren't they harvesting your data? Aren't they harvesting your data?
So here I'm not technically giving them any of my data. I'm not putting drawings into ChatGPT. I'm saying, ChatGPT, will you make the macro code for me? And then it creates the macro. So I don't know anything programming whatsoever, but it's saying, okay, step 1. I don't know, hang on. Yeah, it's creating the commands for then I can go into SolidWorks, which is old technology. It basically just wrote the code for me to make a macro. Does that make sense? Yeah, so ChatGPT is only creating the code for the macro. I'm not telling it, hey, make this drawing for this part and spit it back to me. Now I can use that macro for all of my parts there going forward because it only gave me code.
So there was a new macro to do the drawing for you? Like I have all bunch of things that have to be circles in like a tube, right? Mm-hmm. They'd be either 10 by 10 by 8. Mm-hmm. Like something the top is 10, bottom is 10, and the height is 8. Mm-hmm. Is that easy to do?
Potentially. Yeah. So to be fully transparent, I got the macro to run where it put the 3 views, it put my isometric, but it never gave me the reference dimensions. And I don't want it to make a drawing for me. I just want it to be more automated so that when I'm making 100 drawings, I don't have to click 7 times just to start the drawing. It's 1 minute. It takes me 1 minute to say, hey, I have this part, make this drawing, add the isometric, add the views, and then I start using my brain to start tolerancing and dimensioning everything. So all I'm asking this macro to do is just, hey, get rid of the 7 clicks, save me a minute per drawing, and then it helps me get into the brain work a little bit faster. So
how much time do you think that you save now that you can?
Well, I will say right now I'm not in the part of my project where I'm making the drawings, so it's kind of like to be determined. But I do estimate it that it's 1 minute per drawing. And I already told you there's 7,000 parts and assemblies in a slot machine, so. And question? Okay. Oh, this was just to showcase as well that you can have a custom toolbar. And then this company had their own macros that they ran for, so that's what this wheel is for. So if they needed open drawing, colorize cut list, configurator, translate feature tree. So there's a lot, macros isn't brand new by any means. Oh, export manufacturing files. It just simplifies doing these tedious, minute tasks in just 1 click. And I don't think a lot of people in the SolidWorks community are using this.
I don't know the companies who do that. And so they didn't do that. Was that Alfred Harris when we were designing these little widgets for the satellite? They didn't do that.
Oh no. Think of how many times you've just spent.
So much stuff.
I don't know if you had vendors, but I've spent so much of my time packaging the CAD to send to a vendor where I'm taking all the drawings, or taking all the parts, taking all the assemblies, making the BOM, making the PDFs, and I'm just like, oh my God, I could be spending my time designing cooler things than processing these tasks. So I wanted SolidWorks users to leave with a little bit of information, but the next events are hopefully going to be more informative, more lesson focused. So this is the link of how to become a member if you're interested to get updated on future events. One thing that's coming, I think it's November 6th, is something called the SWUGN. SWUGN is how do I say this? It's okay, so it's the SolidWorks largest group meet ever. So people connect virtually, like via the Bevy website. You hop on, and I think well over 1,000 members join in, and we just talk about SolidWorks and how fun it is. In February, the next 3DX World is happening in Houston. I plan to be there. This will be my 5th year attending. And I wanted to also shout out Tech Alley for allowing me to host this here. Hopefully next time, if it is here again at Tech Alley, there'll be students, there'll be more SolidWorks users. I think the existing membership were a little intimidated that it was downtown and parking. So I'm gonna do a lot more work to try to get more SolidWorks users here, so to meet some of the design requirements you have. Yeah. So let's see, okay. So we could do this as a group if we'd like, but I wanted to have a structured networking. Once again, I said in my little kickoff speech, like my social battery starts to deplete around now. Be like, hey, let's make conversation. So I like to have structured things. So we'll do 3 rounds of questions, 7 minutes for each round. Each round is approach someone new, but let's have this collectively. Introduce yourself, tell me what you do, how long you've been coming to Tech Alley, and then for the first round, this is what the question is. If you could immediately add one piece of equipment, machine, or tool into your workshop right now, what would it be and what would you use it for? I'll go ahead and start this off. For my personal workshop, which it's very small, it's a 3D printer, it's a Dremel, very pretty chill. I want a laser cutter really badly. Have y'all ever been to Meow Wolf?
Where?
Meow Wolf or Area 15?
Oh.
Here? Yeah. Have you been? No? Okay. Have you been?
I don't know what Meow Wolf is, but I know what Area 15 is.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, they have a lot of beautiful artwork that is laminated, laser cut out of wood prints, and that's really inspiring to me. If I go travel,
Where is that?
Huh?
Where is that?
Area 15?
Area 15 over here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Spring Valley and some whatever highway. Yeah. Just walking around, they have it, and I find that really inspiring. When I go and travel, I see magnets of shadow boxes. It's layered, so the first layer will say, hey, I'm in South Lake Tahoe. The next layer will be a bear. The next layer will be the tree line. The next layer, and I just really like that, so I would totally implement a laser cutter if I could.
How big are they? What size?
What size laser cutter? So I live in a 2-bedroom apartment right now, so anything I could fit.
Small one?
The glow forges are I think 5K plus. They have a camera in it, but they're a desktop. I think they're about this big.
Desktop one?
Yeah, so I'd probably go with a 2.5 by 2 feet if I could, where I don't need the compressed air to go into it. If it was my company, I'd go as big as I can. Do you have a laser cutter? Is that why you're asking?
I don't. I have a 3D printer, put a laser head on it.
Bamboo or no? Did you get the bamboo? The recent bamboo?
No.
Oh.
But I don't really need one. If there's anything I need laser cut, I can have laser cut. So, do you do a lot of trade shows and things like that here in Las Vegas?
Have I visited?
Trade shows.
I've visited the Global Gaming Expo trade show.
I'm surprised I didn't see that.
Oh.
National Hardware Show. There are several companies that bring laser cutters in for display and stuff like that. And they have a tendency to want to not have to pay to ship them back. So you can buy them at oftentimes ridiculous discounts.
I'm going to do that.
Those are expensive enough that they might not just throw them.
Yeah.
But,
That's a good point. That's a good point because if long term makerspace community grows and we have a true makerspace, That'd be a great place to house a cheap
No.
laser.
Like at the last National Hardware Show, the Las Vegas Convention Center put a restriction on people wheeling carts out front of the entrance because some people had cracked the concrete floor.
Yeah, I've actually done that in my office building.
Yeah, but 10
Where's
cents
your
on
office
the
or
dollar. 10 cents on the dollar.
That's crazy.
Less.
I appreciate that. That is why I hosted something like this, to find tips like that. So, yeah.
Things that are very heavy.
Yeah.
They just throw them
Yeah.
out. Because they
that's crazy.
literally put them at the parking to the end of the hall, the exhibition hall, and leave them by the exits. Because if the union members have to move them out, it's like, $400
Yeah.
a crate.
Wow.
And, especially heavy things like
I'm thinking like
pressure
I've.
sprayers and anything that's heavy. Anvils, anvils, throw them all away. You're not going to load up a bunch of
Yeah.
and ship the steel back only to ship it out.
Gosh. Yeah.
So there's abandonment. So certainly you can get a nasty laser cutter for a very affordable price. Knowledge is everything.
Thank you. Do you have an answer to this? Do you have an immediate tool you would add to your own tool belt?
Yeah. I need a hydraulic lift. Put the cars up in the air.
Oh, okay.
That would be nice,
That's awesome.
It's a pain in the ass to have to go under.
Uh-huh. Hey, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Did you, sorry, can you also introduce yourself? Does everyone know your name? I don't remember.
Mark.
Mark? Yes.
And Tim.
And John.
John, yeah. Hydraulic lift.
Yeah, never buy a car you can't fix yourself.
So you hands-on mechanic?
I have a new car. I haven't worked in 3 years, so I'm buying a van I can put this on. And I have an office in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm driving to Atlanta in 2 weeks. I'm going to Hong Kong in 2 weeks, and I'm driving to Atlanta next week.
The goal of the automakers is to make the cars that
What's
you
that?
cannot fix yourself.
Right.
There's a bill before Congress, it's called the Right to Repair Law. The idea for the automakers is to make proprietary software which computers interface with sensors on the car, and the only way you can be able to figure out what's wrong with your car is to go someplace that has the proprietary software, which means the dealerships or centers that are paying the automakers for proprietary software.
You can buy your own tool. If you're an engine light, you can buy your own tool to plug into the car and tell you what's wrong.
That's today. But the goal of the companies, and they're not hiding it, is to make the cars impossible to repair. I mean, you can get an OBD2 scanner, and you can see what the engine codes are. But certain types of cars, the OBD2 scanners don't tell you everything. And you need a special proprietary OBD2 scanner, which tells you what the problems are.
Right.
I mean, that's the goal, because that's the way they protect their dealers and they protect their company profits. They don't want you to be able to fix your own car. But you never buy a car you can't fix yourself.
I can't fix any cars. I know friends that can fix them.
Yeah.
Nice.
I can't put my hand on it, so I can't run tools.
If I were to guess what the tool that you would introduce, and you've talked about looking for like a CAD designer or a mechanical engineer to help you, is that what one of your tools that you would add is either learning the software?
The biggest 3D printing factory.
Oh yeah.
Farm here in Las Vegas, right?
You already
I've
own?
been visiting for 30 years. I'm a 60-year-old man. I've been doing this stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
My goal is to make stuff easier for all the big hotels and stuff like that. They're all, my opinion is they're all stupid, right? They all buy stuff on like, I need that. I'll buy But they still like the color, right? So I'm getting a special color made for them. So, that's my goal.
Where are you getting the 300,000 LEDs?
There's 30,000. I think that makes it for me, right?
In America?
No,
Where?
China.
Yeah. Yeah, we're certainly doing things in China too.
I went to China 2 weeks. Hong Kong. Got a big LED trailer every year. I've been to Hong Kong 15 times. I like Hong Kong. I know it's going to be different now than it's owned by China, right?
The Canton Fair just ended.
Was that?
Canton Fair.
No.
There was a fair in Canton just ended.
Yeah, that's different. This is Hong Kong.
I spent many, many hours online with China.
Yeah.
John, oops, sorry.
My goal is to talk to the manufacturer over there and set the big league hotel, bring the Las Vegas. I know lots of people in China, big people. I would say, spend time, come on to those hotels, bring yourself over here. And I guarantee I can beat up the competitors, right? I know who my competitors are. Each of the casinos that have done this for a long time. My goal is to become the biggest guy in Las Vegas and in the USA. Manufacturer stuff here in Las Vegas with that, or the whole state, right?
Okay, I'm gonna ask John, do you have an answer for our question?
Mine isn't like a machine or tool. Like now I don't really do like the mechanical stuff as much. I do a lot of video content and filming.
Yeah.
And so for me, it would be making like a custom tripod where I could just tell it like, hey, I'm going to be filming a vertical video, like upper torso shot at this frame, and then it'll just move to the right place and like.
Oh.
Because like most of the time when I film, the first like 20 minutes is me setting up, framing, making sure it looks good, like everything kind of fits. And so if I know I have like essentially doing a macro in life of like the position of
Auto configuration. It makes me think of auto bed leveling for like
Yeah,
3D printers.
exactly.
You
Yeah.
always have to do it no matter what.
Yep.
Does that technology already exist?
Oh, it definitely does. And then there's definitely like, there's like a lot of, I forget his name, I think it's Cole something. He does like I don't know if you've seen it, slow-mo videos of celebrities.
Yeah.
So he has a very similar thing where he's like, oh, we're gonna do a drop-down face-first portrait thing, and then they just push the button, and then the camera does that exact like motion path for the camera. So that stuff does exist, but it's just like, you kind of need the space, and obviously that equipment's not cheap, so having that in
I used to do some computer work with, you see those cameras that go through stadiums? or something?
Yeah, exactly.
I used to work for a company in Vail, Colorado that made those. A long time ago.
I would love that tech. That would be really nice to have.
That was a long time ago. That's what I was your age, right? I was a youngster.
Nice. Cable cams, yeah. I don't think it'll fit in the office I have.
You can do it with AI now.
Yeah.
And you don't even need the tech. You can program the AI.
Can you import 3D scanned images into SolidWorks?
Yeah.
I have a 3D scanner, so I'm going to start 3D scanning myself.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I bought a 3D scanner. So I wouldn't mind
That's a good
buying
tool. I think that would be my second tool I'd add to my like workshop or like my tool belt.
Those tripod and everything, batteries in the tripod, and the scanner plugged in fine. Did my phone into my laptop.
Wait, so this is essentially you just scan a physical object and then it'll give you like a rough draft?
Yeah, it won't be like a solid model. It'll be like a point cloud geometry shape. That's the way it's explained to me. So if you were to convert it or put it into SolidWorks, you'd have to patch a lot of the surfaces. At least currently in the technology that I'm aware of, though I'm sure it's advanced.
That's above the product.
Say it again?
It won't match the surface of the product?
Like it will, it kind of depends on what you want to do with it. So like if you, from my understanding, if you scan it, like if you're going to immediately 3D print it, you probably would just need the STL file. But there's a chance that like say the surface, it may be mismatched or it may look like this based off of how it got scanned. So I would say like a human middleman would be making sure your surfaces are all patched, making sure if you wanted it to be converted into a solid model instead of a surface model, then I would recommend, you know, probably importing, looking at it.
The goal is to make it so it looks like what the product is. I can hundreds of them.
Yeah, I think years ago I saw a video of Jay Leno 3D scanning car parts for his unique fancy cars that don't exist, and then like say they were worn down.
3D scanning's changed since then, right?
I'm sure.
It's Mandelbrot fractals.
What's that?
Mandelbrot fractals.
Medical what?
Mandelbrot fractals. He was the guy that
That's a guy's name.
discovered the science of these are really tiny triangles.
Yeah.
Really tiny triangles. The more you make the triangles, the smoother it comes out.
Right.
So you're scanning, depends on the definition of your scanning. But, you know, if you're scanning something really large, you better have a lot of memory to store the size and dimensions of the reflections it's getting, which are being converted into little triangles. Because with triangles, you can bend them to any shape. You know, you can get these dome out of triangle, so you have that's the science behind it. And you can get a platter scanner, which you assemble yourself out of eBay, and it's really $50. And you can, you know, I mean, it's like the foolishness of gun control is that now for $150 you can take your pistol apart, put the pieces on a rotating 3D scanner using open source software, subs, scan them into your computer, and then with using your desktop 3-axis or 4-axis milling machine, you can mill metal parts down and duplicate it. So I mean, any gangbanger with computer skills can copy handlings.
Make it, yeah.
Right. I mean, it's, you know, the technology is 1,000 years old for guns. You know, and now the computers are making it such that anybody with any kind of common
I
sense.
feel like you'd be a lethal villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one thing that I didn't do it, and one of my coworkers did it, but he took a picture of me and uploaded it to this whatever AI software, and it made a 3D model of my face, and then 3D printed it out. I wish I had a picture. Maybe next time I'll add that in there. Okay, I think it did my other coworker a lot better. When I look at it, I'm like, yeah, that's not me. Like, it like made my face kind of like this. But I thought that was kind of like crazy that it wasn't multiple pictures of my face. It was one picture this way, and then it did that. I think someone went in and smoothed out some of the texture of like my hair, or maybe texture of my face or my pupils, but I was kind of impressed with it.
Have you seen the plastic blocks where they're taking photographs and putting in 3D
Say,
lasers?
The clear box?
Clear plastic. You can go to the fashion
oh,
show.
yeah.
I mean, I was walking through the fashion show mall and and there's a counter kiosk with the whole displays, you know, and you go in and you sit down and they video or film you, and then you produce it. It's the laser burning very fine dots inside of rock plastic. But it was like a dog.
Yeah.
A hound. And as I'm walking down the alley, the dog is looking at me. And as I walk past it, the dog's head is turning. And it's like he's following.
Like the optical illusion.
Because it's a 3D scan of the dog. I mean, it's very impressive. You can pay a lot of money for it, which is why there's a kiosk inside the fashion show. But that's,
Yeah.
everything's there.
How are you guys feeling? I'm taking the temperature. Are you guys interested in 2 more questions, or are you looking to wrap up a little early? Okay, okay, okay.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Just checking in. I think we have until 4 o'clock specifically, so if y'all are good, I'm good. So this is the second round of questions. It's what's your favorite thing you've ever made? What's your most favorite thing you've ever made? Or what project have you never finished and why? This is not English. Let me fix that. But yeah, does anyone want to start? You keep talking about all of your experience. You have like 60 plus, wait, was it 60 plus?
I've made a lot of things, right?
I believe you. What was your most favorite thing?
I did, my first project when I got into this business was doing the lighting at the theater at the Westgate where I can't think of his name, it's that singer that's in there. Rod Stewart. I did the lighting in his theater. It's the first project I ever did this time.
Is it stage lighting that like shows to the stage?
The stairs and all the lighting in where the people sit.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It was big. It was fun. Right. I beat on some of the big people in town to do that.
Yeah, I love lighting.
I'm not that good with the RGB colors and stuff, but I got it done, right? So that was my biggest project. Okay,
and what about a project?
We did the lights and the sign for Mandalay Bay.
Do you have any signage in the, what's it called, the graveyard? The sign graveyard?
No. All my stuff,
Not yet.
All my stuff is still up.
Didn't need to go to the graveyard.
Yeah.
What about you, John? You can answer either or both.
Most recently, something that I'm like, it's not my most favorite thing, but it's something I'm proud of.
Yeah.
So I'm creating like kits to send out to my clients so that they have video equipment and whatnot. And so I was thinking a lot about packaging. So like getting classic Kaizen foam and understanding the dimensions of all the pieces of equipment and making like a custom unboxing experience.
Oh.
We printed a couple of parts to make that fit better with foam, and so that was just something I was proud of, but not necessarily a favorite thing I built.
Sounds satisfying.
Yeah, it's just, everything fits perfectly and slides out perfectly, and you're just like, wow, this is nice.
And you put intention in, like, okay, they see this first when they open up the box, then this is the thing they see next. Yeah, that's cool. Mark?
Do I have to answer this question?
No, you don't. Do you want to answer a project maybe that you've never finished and why? Or not? No. Yeah, totally fair. I will say one of my most favorite things I've recently made, while not complex, very meaningful to me. My grandmother passed away earlier this year, and there were, I think, 13 grandchildren. So I used XDesign, the CAD software that I was talking about, the online version CAD, to make an ornament for all the grandkids. And my grandmother was like, always, no matter if she walked in today, you would be leaving and she would tell you to reach for the stars no matter what. She'd tell you 3 things. Reach for the stars no matter what, don't let anyone ever take your power, and if you mess up, just say whoops. So anywho, I made everyone a ornament that had a star on it and it said grandma, and I had an extra one and we actually put it in the ground with her. So now I feel like I kind of have a totem to her and all of the other grandchildren, like mentally. So, and I actually just like hung it up on a shelf earlier today, just in view, and it makes me, fond of her. So that was something memorable that I made that I really liked that I did. What project have you never finished and why? I'm happy to share this one too. Does anyone else have a project they've never finished and why?
Another project. Been down here?
Huh?
Down on Fremont Street?
Uh-huh.
There's that glass, the LED, the glass. I made that.
Huh.
And my
Oh, wow. How cool. Drawing a blank on a
That was my
project.
early days.
Me and my buddies, we were trying to make a better chair because like people, since COVID happened, everyone's sitting at home.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was complaining about back problems and it's 30 and now I'm also feeling back problems and everyone's talking about back pain.
Yep.
So we're trying to design a better chair.
Mm.
We're just going to finish it. So
Ah.
one day.
Yeah. Okay. And why? I'm assuming time, commitment, energy.
He works at Amazon, and so he started getting busy. I'm trying to build my own business.
Mm-hmm.
So us both trying to start this other side business just didn't make sense for both of us.
I gotcha.
And also, he's more on the finance MBA side, and I was more of the engineer.
Yeah.
So I did most of the heavy lifting, and then I was like, all right, dude, I can't.
It's your turn.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
One day we'll get back to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's all back.
I think I need like a second term, like remember a project. One of the things, maybe a tangent point, but you saw in that collage, I spent a lot of my free time doing a lot of other things. I'm wanting to become more of a maker in my free time. So there's a lot of, like I want to make more custom jewelry, but I haven't spent the time doing it. I want to make, I like having my personality on my body and for example, Greek mythology. I like that. Here's my answer. Cosplay. I have started so many cosplay things where I'm 3D printed the crown, but I never 3D printed the staff or something, or made the staff. Plenty of those. Right now, actually, I gave up on an Athena cosplay, but I'm trying to go for a gender bent Poseidon cosplay to wear by the end of the year. So that's one of the things. That's one of my main interests for my free time 3D printing. Okay, and this might be, okay, have you guys heard the age-old question? Are there more doors in the world or wheels? Now that you've heard this is life-changing for me. I still decide a different thing every single day. In the world, are there more doors or are there more wheels? More wheels? Plenty of people's gut instinct is one or the other. I'm team wheels as well.
Is there a real answer?
That's what I mean, it's life-changing because you'll, one day, 30 years later, you'll be like, no, maybe it's doors. John, you have a gut thought?